217 Recovery Podcast. Welcome. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Robert Larson.
And it is Easter. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to everyone.
Definitely had a good time with the family today. Rob and I went to a couple different church services.
Yes, couple.
Yeah. I mean, all right. It was, well.
We don't need to put anybody on blast.
We don't. We went to two.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like morning and afternoon. It was just
going from
we caught the beginning of one and the end of another. So
so they constantly I guess to be technical, it counts as one, but we went to two different services because we were having a hard time with the first one. So we went to the second one, and yeah.
And a friend of the podcast, Dustin, went with us. He wanted to kind of leave the first one too, but we did learn a little bit about "Amazing Grace," the song.
Yes,
the guy who wrote it. What was his name? John.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. Well, the guy who wrote it. Do you remember his name, Dustin? No. He's still looking at me like he hates me for bringing him to that. But we had donuts and coffee, bro. So
hey, them cherry cake donuts.
Donuts were on point. But
I didn't have
the guy. Apparently, he swore like a sailor.
Yeah, he swore like a sailor.
And when the words weren't raunchy enough, he actually was known for inventing different words.
Yeah. So hence the phrase "cuss like a sailor."
Yeah. Same guy wrote the Amazing Grace song.
Amazing Grace.
Yeah. He was about to drown, and he prayed to God, and God saved him. I think that God killed the rest of his people or something, though, maybe.
I don't know. Probably. I think it was a tragic story regardless.
So he wrote that song. So that's what we learned today at church. Hopefully you learned more than that, because I think we were supposed to stay at one of the churches during the meat and potatoes of it all, but we were too busy driving to the other church. But that's fine, man.
Yeah.
Live and learn, man.
Yeah, and today is supposed to be a day celebrating the resurrection and rebirth and new life. So hopefully all of you out there that do go to church or went to church got something out of it today.
Mm-hmm. You kind of learned a little something today too about yourself.
Me? Mm-hmm. What did I learn about myself? You're gonna have to.
We talked about it in the car.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you actually taught me something a little bit today too, just by our car ride, because sometimes you can't jump to conclusions.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'll drive yourself nuts sometimes.
Yeah, and that's very, very true. I know that that's been something in the past that I've tended to do more frequently than other times, and find myself, really just making a mountain out of a molehill and realizing that things aren't necessarily as bad as they may have made them out to be. So
you drive yourself nuts doing it. But I think that's the nature of the beast, and that's part of our addiction, and that's why we turn to addiction. Not turn to addiction, but turn to our drug of choice, because we don't know what to do when we get that way. When we start feeling that way, normally we just do our drug and drink or do whatever it is, and then okay, whatever, man, I can deal with it now. And even if you're still not dealing with it, you're such a different place in your mind that it just doesn't really make you feel that way of, oh, I'm jumping to conclusions, but I'm sorry, Dustin distracted me there for a minute. Anyway, yeah, so my point though was, if we keep our minds busy with other things, it keeps us from focusing on the facts, and we like to jump to conclusions because we have never, at least for me in 20 years, just dealt with the process. Right. Recently I had to. Still have no idea what happened there, but you know what? I'm not ever going to happen. I'm not ever going to. And there was another time where I was dating this girl. She was pregnant, and she was going to move back to Michigan with me from Arkansas. And then all of a sudden she starts to say she's having problems. I'm already in Michigan at this point, so I can't go to the doctor with her, but she ends up telling me that she had a miscarriage, and I was like, what? But then it started weighing on my mind because she ended up not coming here back to Michigan, which, whatever. I mean, I'm glad I didn't hook up with her, but everything happens for a reason. But I started thinking, like, well, was it miscarriage or she have an abortion?
Right.
You know, and that was really, and that sent me to a deep depression.
Yeah.
And of course, I was sober at that time, but I didn't realize that, hey, you're still going to have some of these symptoms, and it's, you know, you're going to be depressed, you know, if you're not on some kind of, you know, medication to kind of help balance it out because you're not drinking anymore. And it was crazy time, man.
Yeah.
But I started jumping to that speculation. And then I got to a point when I went to Pinehurst and Grand Rapids where it was like, you're never going to know, man. Like,
Yeah.
just chalk it up to glad you're not paying child support for a kid who lives in Arkansas that you never see.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I guess you have to look at it that way. You know, there can be a silver lining to, you know, a lot of situations. Maybe we don't see it at that point in time, but maybe a little bit further down the road. You know, as they say in the program, more will be revealed. I'm just, you know, I I got a text from a very close friend of mine, and she's doing well, and you know, it really made my day. It cheered me up a lot, you know, I just really am noticing the more I kind of just you know, sit back and let things happen, and not feel like I have to be in control. Things tend to work themselves out, you know. So yeah. Today was a nice Easter.
Yeah, started off a little crazy, but it did nice. You grill it out a little bit, and I kind of want to bring this up because I want to ask you about it.
Okay, go ahead and ask me about it.
Rob was laying out on the deck earlier, getting some sun.
Yeah.